First Tuesday edition of 22 at 22 of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Evan Regan, and let's get started. So we have our main story of this afternoon. Our temperatures across the eastern seaboard are going to be very below average for the next few days, especially going into Friday evening. There could be as cold as 20 degrees below normal as we go forward in time here. We also have this next storm setup that could be diving down towards the southeast and eventually riding up the eastern coast by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday going into this weekend. So we'll have to watch that for sure. As for tonight's headlines, how cold will the temperatures plummet throughout the weekend? Bundle up for tonight's game against number 6 Duke. Should be a very good game, and a wintry west mess on the way for the East Coast. All that and more on tonight's edition of the FSU Weather.
Thanks for the introduction, Evan. Definitely a lot of stuff happening across the country today with really a snowstorm, and we have a trough going on in the East Coast. But as we look at the overview for today in the top story, much of it has to do with a lot of cold weather across much of the country. So you can see across much of the East Coast and West Coast, you can see the trough are now over towards the East Coast. Of course, we have our weekend weather. Cold temperatures across much of the United States this weekend. But of course, we got to bundle up for tonight's game against Duke here at Doak Campbell Stadium. And of course, we're rooting for the Noles to win out and in the basketball game tonight, I believe at 9 o'clock. But across Doak Campbell Stadium, you can see right now a beautiful sunset, 56 degrees under partly cloudy skies, so beautiful weather conditions today. You can see across the Big Bend region, we are in the 50s, really area-wide, really nice conditions. Really for much of the region if you're heading out the door today. Across local radar, you can see not much going on. You can see maybe a little shower up by in southern Georgia. But really across the I-10 corridor, very beautiful and lovely across the area. And tonight's forecast, just bundle up again. We have those temperatures going down into the mid-30s. We have 34 in Tallahassee, 33 in Thomasville, and then down towards the coast, we might be a little bit warmer in the 40s. But tonight on FSU Weather, cold air invades the U.S. We are flirting with freezing temperatures in Tallahassee and unsettled weather at the end of the week. But now to the desk with Evan.
Have that cold air that's going to be in place for the next couple days. In Tallahassee, you'd be a little bit warm as we go for the next couple days, but as we get towards the weekend, that cold air will definitely be in place, not only in the southeast, but as we go into the northeast as well. There could be a potentially major nor'easter on the way if everything can come properly together for Saturday and Sunday. Now, not everything is perfectly in agreement yet on that storm system, but we will have to watch that carefully as that does evolve. But we do have, in the meantime, before that cold air gets here, we have a couple rainy days in Tallahassee going Thursday into Friday. Friday will be quite rainy, but we'll have highs close to over to 70, but we will have that cold air spilling in as we go towards the weekend here. And now for more, I'm going to head over to the wall here and give you guys a more in-depth look on that top story, which is that cold air that will be spilling in. And there it is up in Canada right now, behind this cold front that'll sweep down to the southeast, and it'll help fuel that storm system that we'll see that could potentially ride up its way up the east coast by the time we get to the weekend. But right now, pretty chilly up in the northern tier, 15 degrees up there in Billings, but pretty warm down there in Texas in the 70s in Dallas and San Antonio. And there's that next storm setup. I'll move out of the way here. This storm track will move down to the southeast, down towards Tallahassee, that low pressure center. And we'll have to find out, the question is whether it will be hugging towards the coast and produce, and really amplify and really produce a lot of snow and bury the east coast cities like Washington, New York, and Boston, or it could swing further out to sea and not be as amplified and only bring minor coastal impacts. We'll have to watch that carefully over the next few days. There's that moisture that will be associated with this system over the next few days. It will dive down towards the southeast and ride its way up the coast. But right now across the southeast, not so dry air, especially across Miami. You see those those brown colors there, indicating lower dew points and not as much water vapor content. But over the next 48 hours, you can see that cold front starting to dip its way down towards the south. Really chilly there in Kansas City, going into the single digits, even closer to 0 by the time we get to Thursday morning. And those temperatures are really cold by the time we get to this time on Thursday. 25 there in Memphis, 17 in Kansas City, and below freezing in Washington and D.C., and also close to freezing in Atlanta at 36. As for tomorrow's highs, however, rather nice across much of the southeast. 73 there in New Orleans, 68 here in Tallahassee. Just a gorgeous day. If you ask me, that's the perfect temperature to be outside for this time of the year. 74 there in San Antonio, but there's that cold air that will in, and there it is. Look at that, dropping all the way down to 38 for a high on Thursday in San Antonio. So quite a difference, a 36 degrees temperature drop in 24 hours. So that's quite the difference. And there is that cold front that will sweep its way towards Tallahassee by the time we get to this time on Thursday, 71 on this time. As for Friday, you can see 20-degree temperature drop there in Tallahassee, 51 for our high temperature there, 37 in Atlanta, 36 in Memphis. So that cold air is definitely solidified by the time we get to this time on Friday. As for the week ahead, you can see those unsettled days for Thursday and Friday, but clearing up by the time we get to the second half of the weekend, so definitely nice there. And as that cold air works east, potential for ice from Louisiana to the Carolinas, significant ice accumulation in the coastal Carolinas, and the heaviest snow inland through the Carolinas through the Delaware Peninsula. So we'll have to watch those stories as we go throughout the week here.
Thank you, Evan. And as we bring things closer to home, we won't have to worry about any of the ice and the snow or sleet, at least here locally in Tallahassee, but won't be too far to the north, perhaps later in the week. But right now, currently over Doak Campbell Stadium, beautiful sunset that just occurred actually behind the stadium right there. You can see those nice purple and orange skies. Currently under 56 degrees and partly cloudy skies with a nice brisk wind. It might feel a little bit chillier than 56 out there, so might need a light jacket as you go head out the door this evening. Our temperature almanac for today, you can see we were actually fairly normal, at least for the high temperature, but we started off from 27 degrees, which is pretty far below our normal low of 40 degrees. But of course, we didn't break our 15-degree temperature back in 1965, nor we didn't get to our record high of 80 degrees back in 47. Hour by hour today, that's that warm-up you can see. We start in the 20s, and we got all the way up into the 40s, 50s, and then 60s as we got towards the middle afternoon to 61, where we topped off at 4 p.m. Our local temperatures right now across the region, you can see 57 degrees in Tallahassee. Might see a few lower 50s north away from the coast in southwest Georgia, but really by the coast you can see we're pretty much in the mid-50s, pretty much along the Big Bend region, even down to Apalachicola, maybe a little bit cooler there at 51 degrees. Our current dew points right now across the region, you can see these are dry temperatures. You can see 31 Tallahassee, which really this means how dry it is in the atmosphere, and you can see not really a lot of water, and that's partially why we don't have a rain and really nice, no clouds either, where we have the really nice sunset out there tonight. And our local radar, you can see, that's what I was mentioning, you can see there's not a lot of clouds or rain across right now the area. You see perhaps a little shower over towards Homerville in southeast Georgia, but that is just a stray shower. Our future radar, you can see we do have clouds streaming in from the west, hit or miss clouds, but it fairly should be mostly sunny for really much of the region and for most of the day tomorrow. As we get into tomorrow evening, again, beautiful skies as well. Tonight's forecast, you'll need that heater on tonight. You can see 34 degrees in Tallahassee as we wake up tomorrow morning. You can see we do see some 40s along the coast. You can see 44 Apalachicola, 45 in Carabel. Tomorrow's forecast, you can see beautiful conditions come back again. We're pretty much sitting around the average temperature across much of the region. You see pretty much mid to upper 60s across our viewing area. You can see our dog walk forecast. You see our pooch over there. You can see we will warm up nicely into the middle 60s as we get into the afternoon. And for the week ahead, we have a lot of, pretty much really, one way to sum it up is a roller coaster. You can see pretty much, really starting off, we start off around normal, and we'll get up to into the 70s, but then we do have another cold front system coming by and dropping temperatures only into the 50s for highs and down to around freezing for lows as we get into this weekend. So certainly might need a rain jacket and some colder weather as we come in.
That's right. That was really the perfect way to describe that, just a roller coaster over the next week or so here locally in Tallahassee. But now I'm going to take you a little bit wider picture here. Now throughout the whole state of Florida, you can see that sunset behind me there in Panama City Beach, excuse me. Really gorgeous colors with those high, thin clouds in the background, nice pinks and oranges back there. Another nice picture there in Orlando at 57, also in Gainesville at 54. Also in Miami, nice and warm at 63 with those sun starting to set in the background there as well. Current temperatures around the Florida Peninsula, generally sitting in the 50s, a little bit warmer as we work our way down towards the south, 65 right now at Miami International, but another really gorgeous day throughout much of the peninsula today. Temperatures were in the 70s throughout much of the central part of the peninsula and up in the 60s up as we get towards Tallahassee. Current water vapor, not a whole lot to see there. Very dry conditions, especially for central and southern Florida, leading to lower dew points on that scale. So nice and comfortable out there, not that muggy feel that we usually get in the summer here. As for the Florida radar, not a whole lot to see as well. Very clear conditions throughout much of the state. So again, very enjoyable to get outside and be active this time of the year. So very comfortable again to, get out there. Maybe go to the beach. Maybe a little bit cool for that, but still really nice out there. As for future radar, just a couple of high thin clouds tonight, especially in the Panhandle. But as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, you can see that cold front coming in from the north and west, bringing a lot of rainfall to Tallahassee, and eventually will get its way towards Orlando by the time we get to the end of the week, bringing those temperatures crashing down as it does so. As for the next 48 hours, you can see a little bit chillier tonight, especially in the Panhandle, reaching into the 30s. A gorgeous day tomorrow in the 60s, especially in the Panhandle, 70s for the peninsula. But as that cold front works its way through, the temperatures will drop. You can see Pensacola at 42 by the time we get to this time on Thursday, but lower 70s still persist for the majority of the central and southern part of the state. So gorgeous weather there. As we go city by city, Miami, generally staying in the mid to upper 70s. That rain chance returns for Friday, so watch out for that. As we work our way to Tampa, generally staying in the mid to upper 70s there as well. Clouds increase as we go Thursday night to Friday, so no rain there as of yet, but that will be on the way for Saturday, I'm sure. Same thing for Orlando. Clouds increase as we work our way towards Friday, so but again, nice and warm, upper 70s there. As for Jacksonville, 69 there on Wednesday, perfect weather there, but the shower threat increases for Friday, 62. And for Pensacola, you can see that rain chance for Thursday and Friday. Look at that high temperature on Friday, only 44 degrees, so definitely need the jacket then. As for tonight, nice and chilly up in the Panhandle, upper 40s and, lower 40s and upper 30s, that's a tongue twister, and 60s down towards West Palm Beach. And a gorgeous day tomorrow, middle 70s and upper 60s for the Panhandle. Just a gorgeous day to be outside and be active. So now I'll pass that off to Aaron for the next segment.
Certainly is beautiful here in the Sunshine State, but if you're in North Florida, that won't last too much longer with the cold front coming in here. But if we zoom out to our national forecast, you can see a lot of L's and H's on the map, which stands for highs and low pressures. You can see a lot of weather information going on across our map today. You can see we have an area of low pressure moving across the Minnesota into Wisconsin as you go across the Great Lakes. You can see across the southeast, you can see really a bunch of high pressures because we just had that cold front. So pretty much we do have high pressure behind that from what was this weekend with that area, especially in the Carolinas where they had the snow and the ice over there, made for a beautiful scene over there. And across the west coast, pretty much high pressure across much of the west coast. Might have a little bit of moisture down towards Southern California, but not much of a drencher there. In a big picture across much of the nation, you can see our cold temperatures are pretty much north and east, and then of course in the mountains as well. But because we do have a trough right now in the east coast, that will eventually become amplified with another cold front coming in from the west coast this weekend. And here's our upper level water vapor. You can see, you can actually see that swirl up there. That's our low pressure area from last weekend that impacted us. But here is our next storm system that will be developing off the Rockies here, moving down towards the southeast, and that'll be bringing us a chance for some rain and some thunderstorms, even some sleet, possibly into places like into the mid-Atlantic again next week. And our dew points across much of the nation is pretty much chilly, or bone dry, I should say. Really dry conditions as you go towards the East Coast. You can see 19 in Washington, D.C., which is very bone dry out there. You might need some extra chapstick today. In our drought monitor, you can see we do have to continue with that drought across much of the West, and really noticeably Texas, really across the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, and over towards Las Vegas as well. You do have at bullseye there some exceptional drought across the area. But zooming in closer to the West Coast, you can see we do have some rain that might help alleviate somewhat of the drought over towards Arizona, and we do have some snow up into the northern Rockies as you go towards the Canadian border near Billings. Might help a little bit there. This is our atmospheric river into the northwest. You can see we do have some rounds of rain coming in to much of places like Seattle, Yakima, and Portland, and of course snow spilling over into the mountains of Idaho and Montana. In our northeast radar, you can see really quiet across much of the northeast, and including into the Great Lakes, where we do have some snow up into the northern portions of Michigan, into the upper peninsula of Michigan, into Canada right now. And this is our next storm setup for next week. You can see we do have area of low pressure right here, as I was mentioning before, that will swoop down to the southeast and will help generate some convection and conditions and really cool things down for much of after that cold front does proceed. You can see this is our area of low pressure will form here and move across the northern Gulf and out into the Atlantic. But with that could bring some snow, again, for places of the Midwest, or of the, I should say, Mid-Atlantic, excuse me. You can see this is our system that will be forming. You can see a nice line of, this is where our cold front's at. This is going to move towards Tallahassee and down across the Panhandle and then into the peninsula. But you can see over towards the Mid-Atlantic, you can see Virginia and North Carolina. We might have some snow and sleet right there across those places once more after snow this weekend. And again, this is pretty much highlighting what I was mentioning with the snow setup, with the storm setup, I should say. You can see sleet and freezing rain across much of the really Georgia and into the coastal Carolinas and down into Louisiana. You may even see a little bit of wintry precipitation even as far south as Pensacola, so we might have to watch that and see what happens there. But really, this of course, is along our low pressure path as we continue into next week. And of course, that will continue into Monday. This is the next 60 hours. You can see that cold front that's forming. It's going to drag down some of the cooler air right behind it, and that will eventually get into the East Coast and bring some of the rain along with it towards our area. So really, Friday does not really look like a great day across the Big Bend region here. And then, of course, we do have some of that snow and sleet possibly into the Carolinas. Tonight's lows really chilly in the east. We have 33 in Atlanta, 33 Tallahassee, 55 in Miami. So if you're looking for some warmth, then do head towards Miami, or even the central part of the country into San Antonio, 54, and Dallas-Fort Worth in the 50s as well. On the West Coast as well, we are sitting in the 40s and 50s, so at least it's fairly comfortable over there for this time of year. Tomorrow's highs, we're looking at pretty brutal conditions if you are in the northern part of the country. You can see only 1 degree in Bismarck, so definitely bone chilly and dry over there. You can see Kansas City, we're in the 20s, and as we go down into the southeast, we will be moderating that trend and really, of course, ahead of next week's storm system that will be coming towards the area.
That's right. That cold air will really be pulling itself down behind that cold front as that next system swoops down towards the south and east. But now I'm going to take you guys through the weekly planner throughout the entire nation and what you can expect throughout this week and perhaps even beyond. But as Aaron was saying, for tomorrow's highs, really brutal conditions up there in the northern tier of the country. Only 1 degree in Bismarck, 6 degrees in Minneapolis, and that's only just the beginning. That cold front will start to bring its way towards the south and east, and it'll spread those cold temperatures, not as harsh as up there in the north, but it'll start to spread those throughout the majority of the eastern half of the U.S. As for Thursday, that 1 degree temperature is still there in Minneapolis, and you can see Chicago only sitting at 19, Detroit sitting at 22, and Kansas City at 19, so that cold air is starting to spread even further. And as we go towards Friday, it's really got its grip across much of the eastern U.S. 25 in Detroit, 26 in Washington, D.C., only 21 and cloudy in Boston. So again, that cold air is really going to take hold as we go into the later part of the week and into the weekend. And still even on Saturday, you can see even another shot of cold air coming down from Canada, 18 at Bismarck, 19 at Minneapolis, 35 Louisville, and 29 Chicago. And while on that, I'll get over to the West Coast as well. Nice and warm on the West Coast. I'm a little jealous. 70 degrees for Phoenix and Los Angeles on Saturday. So again, really nice in the west and very cold in the east. So make sure you are ready for that. Even on Sunday, still dealing with those single-digit highs in Minneapolis. Only 9 degrees there. Snowy in Bismarck at 23. Still snowing in Boston at 37. 36 in D.C. Partly cloudy. So again, it's really going to be chilly out there. And again, as we go through our temperatures compared to average, you can see those cold air, those well below average temperatures swooping down from Canada. These highs are going to be 20 degrees or maybe even 30 degrees below average. So again, we're really going to have to pay attention to that. And even by Sunday evening, or excuse me, Friday evening, you can see that really it's working its way all the way toward Atlanta and Tallahassee. So we're going to have to watch that as that storm system tries to evolve itself with that cold air. And I'm going to take you guys through the local. Sorry, I thought I was going off screen there, so my apologies. But now I'm going to take you guys a little bit closer back to home. And you can see, look at those sunset colors behind Doak Campbell Stadium. It's a little bright there just over the stadium, but you can see just behind that graphic there is a little bit of pink color. So it's really pretty out there at this hour. 56 and partly cloudy. That wind just picked up a little bit since the last time we checked it, a little bit at 5 miles an hour. As for our temperature almanac today, a little bit below average, very below average. In fact, for our low temperature this morning, it was really chilly stepping outside, a level of 27 this morning, but thankfully we're nowhere near our records of 80 and 15 set more than 30 years ago. As we look currently around the area, generally sitting in the 50s around the area, maybe a little bit of urban heat island effect in Tallahassee at 57, a little bit cooler towards Thomasville at 51, even down towards Apalachicola is also sitting at 51 degrees. As for dew points, very comfortable dew points out there, generally sitting in the 30s, 31 in Tallahassee, so maybe chapstick weather, who knows, but still very comfortable out there. That high energy weather that you really long for this time of the year is the case for today and also tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be another picture-perfect day, and I'll detail that more in a second. As for the local, not much at all to see on that local radar, which is always a good thing. No clouds, really just picture-perfect out there if you want to get outside tonight. As for the future, though, you can see that there was some clouds that will stream in overnight tonight, but it will clear out beautifully for tomorrow for just another picture-perfect day, as I said. Maybe a little bit chance of showers off towards the west there, up in Georgia and also in Alabama. But again, another beautiful day around here. But first, before we get there, it will be chilly tonight, going down to flirting with the freezing mark, 33 degrees tonight in Tallahassee, partly cloudy. So make sure you bundle up if you're headed out towards the Duke game tonight. So hopefully those no's can pull it off. But as we work our way towards tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Sunny and 67 degrees. You could not ask for a better day. Low humidity, just gorgeous weather out there. So especially if you want to take your dog out tomorrow, it'll be another great day for that. A little chilly to start out, 42 at 9 a.m., but it'll work its way through the 60s with plenty of sunshine as we go towards the afternoon hours. As we work our way towards the 7-day here, you can see, again, it's going to be like a roller coaster forecast, as Aaron said earlier, with those unsettled conditions for Thursday, high of 71, so nice and warm. However, by the time we get to Friday, those rain showers are really in full effect. It's that cold front starting to work its way through, only a high of 51. And by the time we get to the weekend, it will be nice and chilly with a high of 50 on Saturday, but those low temperatures will really dip down towards the 30s. Again, flirting with that freezing mark by the time we get to Saturday night and into Sunday with a low of 32. But now I'm going to pass things over to Aaron at the desk.
Thanks, Evan. Really, for much of the course of the area right now, very beautiful conditions. If you're heading out to the game tonight, you can see with Duke, conditions will be nice but cool. So if you're heading out to Doak Campbell Stadium, make sure to go there as well. You can see it's right now 42 degrees at tip-off. But you can see as we go through the game, you can see we'll be going down into the 30s as we end at around 11 p.m. As you're heading home from the game. But what do you have to say about that, Evan?
That's right. I really hope those no's can pull it off. Duke is ranked number 6 right now nationally, but I really do think we have a shot of pulling this off. Florida State has won 3 consecutive ACC games. 2 of those are against Miami and Louisville. Both of those teams were previously undefeated in the ACC play, so hopefully we have a shot of at least really pulling off this win here. But it will be chilly, as we've talked about. You will need that jacket, especially if you're headed out towards halftime and beyond. It'll be in the 30s, so make sure you bundle up and stay warm. Even if you're inside, it will be chilly as you head out for your walk back to the car or the dorms, wherever you're headed. But again, Florida State has a good chance of knocking off Duke here, so make sure we hashtag pack the tuck and cheer on our Noles hard, because I really do think we have a good chance of pulling off this upset here.
Right, and really a good celebration, but make sure you have that coat on when we do win.
That's right.
At 38 degrees at 11 p.m., but certainly will be a nice game. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I'm rooting for the Noles to see how they do with that.
That's right, and again, I really do think that the Noles have a good chance of upsetting Duke here. Duke actually previously lost to Miami, which, if you were at the Tuck last week, FSU just beat Miami in basketball. So if we beat Miami and Miami beat Duke, then we theoretically have a chance to beat Duke. Just pure logic right there. But again, I'm not sure if we'll have to see what happens, but I really do think we have a good chance of knocking off Duke, which is always a huge accomplishment, especially in basketball.
Right, and really, football is really popular here, but basketball too. I heard it's pretty good. I'm not a basketball fan myself, but I heard basketball games are really are good to go out to, and hopefully tonight will be a very great game as we go out, hopefully with a win. So that's right. We will go out without Malik Osborne, I'm pretty sure, but we will still have enough players to really take down Duke and give them a run for their money here. So, but back to the weather here, and I'll pass things off to Aaron. That's right, and as we do one last forecast nationally, we could see really we're pretty much cold up in the northern plains, but as we get down into the southeast, we just finished off with that cold front that came through over the weekend. But of course, this is our next system setup. We do have that sleet and snow possible for places like Atlanta, Birmingham, Montgomery, and even down into the extreme western panhandle of Florida. So we'll see how that plays out here. And then, of course, snow and possibly some heavy snow up into the mid-Atlantic, up into places like New York, Boston, into the northeast. But really, the 60 hours, you can pretty much see what's going to happen for over this weekend. This is the setup. We have our area of low pressure coming in here. This is going to drag down a cold front throughout the southeast, and that will bring precipitation with it. You can see this is the ice danger I was mentioning across coastal Carolinas. We might have to watch out for that if you're in places like New Bern, Myrtle Beach, and even all the way to Raleigh, Durham possibly. So might have to watch out there if you're heading out in that direction.
That's right. That ice is really just a sneaky threat, so make sure that you are in that area, you are making the appropriate preparations, make sure that you are put those chains on your tires and make sure you don't slip and slide on the roads out there. That can be very dangerous. But again, looking at that beautiful sunset over Doak, currently 56 degrees out there, partly cloudy. Again, just a gorgeous night to be outside and take a nice walk over to, not Doak Campbell Stadium, the Tucker Center on FSU against Duke. Currently around the area, again, 50s in Tallahassee, a little bit cooler up towards the north, in the 40s in Thomasville and Donaldsville, and maybe again a little bit cooler down towards the coast at 48 at Apalachicola. Excuse me. But again, not much to look at on the local radar. Not a cloud in the sky. It's just gorgeous, again, like it has been all day today. Clouds will stream in overnight tonight, but again, they'll clear out just in time for tomorrow, making another picture-perfect day. Clouds will hold off towards the west. So again, it'll be another gorgeous sunny day. Nice warm temperatures in the upper 60s. So again, really gorgeous out there. But before we get there, we will have to deal with those near freezing temperatures. 35 tonight in Tallahassee, warmer down towards the shore, 45 and 47 in Carabella and Apalachicola with that sea breeze, but it will be chilly nonetheless. As for tomorrow, widespread mid and upper 60s, so again, very nice out there. As for the week ahead, you can see we will have that rain chance with that cold front coming through for Thursday and Friday, but those temperatures will come crashing down behind the cold front with, again, flirting with the freezing mark by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday.
As we head back to the desk right now, and to close up the show, we are pretty much going to be cold, at least as we get into this week. You can see 50 degrees, and possibly into the mid-50s as well. But we do have a nice warm-up, but really it looks like another roller coaster as we get into Tuesday. Another roller coaster ride. You can see now we're into the 55 once more. But really, those freezing temperatures, you might need to bundle up on Saturday night into Sunday.
That's right. We will really need those jackets, even rain jackets, for Thursday and Friday. And again, that is really the perfect way to describe it. It's really going to be a roller coaster ride here over the next few days, going from 70s to 50s in just a matter of a day or so.
Right, and of course, if you're heading up into the Mid-Atlantic, into like places like Myrtle Beach, you might need to watch out for some of that ice threat with our next system that will be coming on and pretty much paralleling the coast. So if you are heading over there, you might need to watch for ice.
That's right, and there are some questions that need to be answered with that system. We're continually watching the models over here to see what they come in agreement with, but we still have that chance for an amplified system along the coast with plenty of snow and ice, or we'll have a minor threat as if it could go out to sea, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But that's all the time we have tonight on FSU Weather. I'm Student Meteorologist Evan O'Regan.
And I'm Student Meteorologist Aaron Serre.
That's right. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media platforms and have a good night out there. Stay safe and go Noles.
Go Noles.